Alrighty. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Comicsgate, the C&V Sunday show. Comics and Variety, C&V Sunday, the best Comicsgate show, Sunday morning show out there, because it's pretty much the only one, with the exception of Wise Guys today, who was having a kind of a post-election show that I showed up on for a few minutes. How are you, John?
I'm doing well, man. I mean, I know that there's a lot of commiserating right now, but you know what? I want to move forward, man.
Yeah, me
too.
How
are you doing? How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. A little disappointed in the result, but it's not the end of the world. And advice I give to everyone is if your sense of worth, if your life hinges on who wins elections, you're doing this thing called life. You're doing it wrong.
That's the truth, my friend.
I'm not. There was this really depressing story out just before the election, and there's been a number of stories about this, like divided friendships, divided families over the election, people not speaking to each other. And I was talking to a friend of mine, prior to reading this, and then I sent him a link to it, and I said, I let him know, look, I don't care who you're voting for. None of this stuff is worth the friendship. And he's like, he tweeted, he messaged me back, I never doubted that. So yeah, it's not. And I've been involved in politics one way or another for 20 years now, whether it's reporting on it or working for some organization. And right. I can just, trust me, you don't want to be judging people for the most part, you don't want to be judging people by their politics. And
exactly.
Which is unfortunately what Mandalorian actor Pedro Pascal has apparently done here, according to Bounding Into Comics. Pascal posted a meme to his Instagram, which he has now deleted, probably smart. Losers in 1865, losers in 1945, losers in 2020. Of course, he puts it up there, and the internet immediately screen grabs it, so the damage is done. And while Pascal may have deleted the Instagram post, he did repost the other 5 slides showing him and others celebrated. He wrote, "It was about the MAGA hat, but to keep in the spirit of celebration, bye Trump." Well, I don't think that's so bad. I mean, I look, if he wants to say that he's voting for Biden, he's glad Trump lost. I don't really care that much. But I enjoyed season 1 of The Mandalorian. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I watched season 1. I haven't started watching 2. We're, kind of we oscillate between which, streaming services we have going, because you can go broke just trying to have all the different streaming services going.
No kidding. My landlord actually let me borrow his to watch it, which
nice.
Back then, and I've been considering signing up for Disney at least temporarily to see season 2, but I don't love it enough that I feel like I absolutely really want to do that. And and now that seeing this, I'm like, well, it may not be completely completely push me over into the no, I don't want to do it, but it's not winning, it's certainly not winning my support, and it's it's I mean, these actors need to be a little more, I think, careful about knowing who their fan base was, because it was a lot of people who are anti-SJW, anti-woke, that were big about The Mandalorian because The Mandalorian was good storytelling.
It was just a good Star Wars story, and I think at the end of the day, we were all delighted, like just seeing a Star Wars story that didn't suck.
Yeah,
and, so I mean, it's like, and there were some great elements to it. And that's really, and I think it's not just here. This is the same thing that we're experiencing for those of you like I'm a basketball enthusiast. Mm-hmm. I want to watch the games and I'm very disinterested in the politics of the players. I'm very disinterested in the politics of the actors. And then on top of that, it's like, if your politics, this is my thing. Be educated, okay? Because in the course of a 4-year period in the early to mid 40s, over 6 million Jews, I think it was like 2/3 of the population of Jews in Europe were massacred.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like, if you're gonna draw,
Trump hasn't done that.
if you're gonna try to draw, and if you want to go the whole route with the millions of people, that were enslaved and killed and raped, you if he voted the way he wanted to vote, that's great. But it's like, don't be ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
That was an absolutely ignorant post.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, and I realize I want to be careful, because we live in a culture of offense. Everybody's offended. Everybody's offended all the time. And my whole thing is this, if you make a mistake, you need to own it. And then you kind of need to grow from there. And to me, that's an egregious mistake. Yeah. I mean, that's not parallel. there's no parallelism there.
No.
Sorry, buddy. And it's like, it's understanding, okay, yeah, you have a platform as an actor. That's great. Then, bro, just act. Just be Mando. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Because what ends up happening, for me, and it's the same thing we did with Netflix, with that whole thing with that little nasty kid show. I got to vote with my dollars.
Yeah.
I got to vote with my dollars, and I'm like, you know what? If that's where your mind and heart are, I cannot endorse that. It's the same thing I've done with comic books. It's the reason why I haven't bought mainstream comics in a while. I don't complain about mainstream comics. I don't buy them anymore.
Yeah.
I buy indie books. People are mad at what's happening with Superman and Spider-Man. I'm over it.
It's what I think a lot of these creative types, actors, actresses, so forth, don't understand. You get to vote once, maybe every 2 years, some places more often than that for election, but you get to vote. People vote with their dollars every single day. And, I can just as easily, if I had been subscribing to Disney, there are people who are probably going to cancel their Disney subscriptions after they see this. And, look, if he had just said, I'm a Biden supporter, I'm glad Trump lost, and they lost some subscription because of that, maybe not smart, but you're going to be saying, well, hey, he should at least be able to say that he, supports somebody. But now that he's comparing them to Nazis or the Confederates in the Civil War, Trump supporters to that, that's, if you're going to lose supporters, do it over something that isn't stupid, so.
Yeah. And it's the interesting thing, I mean, for all of us, whether we're creating comics, or folks that are playing in sports, a lot of this, at the end of the day, it's escapism. It's healthy escapism. I mean, we're all aware of what's going on in the world around us, and we're creating stories, that are fun and intelligent, but they're escapist. And then at the end of the day, why isolate the people that are buttering your bread?
Yeah.
Everybody's, politics and political ideas, everybody's got one. Everybody's got their own philosophies and thoughts. We don't have to spray it like an Uzi on people.
No, we don't. So, all righty. Let's take a quick look here. Doc is a doofus, according to Rosetta. I think that is probably going to be my epitaph. I think that'll be etched on my gravestone. So, I can't really argue with that. All righty. Let's talk about your comic book, Magna, The Last Pantheon.
Yes, sir.
And for just a minute or two, the link to that, to the sign-up page, is in the description below. Yeah, just give us your elevator pitch.
So you have it's basically a coming of age, a superhero or superheroine story coming of age. She learns some hard truths about herself, and she goes basically on a quest of self-discovery. And but this quest of self-discovery physically takes her to a different plane. She finds herself going, and it's interesting. And this is 1942, so we touched on some elements of what's going on in World War II. She starts off in Idaho, makes her way to Norway, and then finds herself in some in the land of the Aesir, and she finds herself in Olympus, and she finds herself working alongside a conglomeration of a hodgepodge of the last deities of old, of the old mighty men, and they're fighting for survival. And she finds herself plopped right in the middle of it. Not just in the middle of it, but she finds herself a key factor in whether they survive or not.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's give a quick watch the video, and then we'll move on to the, we were talking about people being easily offended. We'll talk about the Anne Hathaway witch thing here in a minute. All righty.
Welcome to Tree City, Idaho. The year is 1942. Spring is in the air, but times are tense as the world finds itself at war. While high school senior Kari Skogsholm finds her provincial life unfulfilling, her parents are eager to keep their lives and, most importantly, their extraordinary daughter under the radar as long as they can. But time is not on their side. They prepare to flee to protect Kari, but something within her compels her to stay and take a stand. It's time to learn truths that have been kept from her, be it out of love or fear or something else. It's time to answer the calling upon her life, whatever that may be. So her journey begins, and things would never be the same. But Kari's story finds its roots millennia prior. The men of renown, known as the sons of God, and the daughters of men in the first and second heavens, joined with raised arms one last time, combining all the power that they had to command. In the heavens, above the world, the last stand of these mighty men was also the last appearance of the agents of destruction, until their reemergence in 1942. Kari must learn the truth about herself, determine the end game of these supernatural agents of destruction, and how to stop them before all is lost.
All right.
Yes, sir. So we're going to launch on the 17th of November.
All right.
So, you know how it is. Just we're just trying to build the list. Hopefully, get off to a little bit of a start. A good start, and just kind of see where we go from there. Hoping that people that back Black Tiger, since this is in the same universe, will want to hop on board.
Yeah.
And come check this out. That's it. Just like you, Doc, just trying to build the universe, just trying to grow it.
Yeah.
And continue to grow the fan base.
Oh yeah. Do you mind telling the audience how many people who've signed up?
I think around 120.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, congratulations. It sounds like you're off to a good start, and you've still got still sounds like
9 days or so.
Yeah, 11 days. So yeah, you're probably going to beat me out. I think I had 133. So
oh wow, it's one of those things where it's really everything is clumpy.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes like I'll get clumps of folks, and then I'll go days.
Yeah. That's how nobody. That's my second tilt part 2 is just reinforce that, and it's why sometimes you kind of white knuckle these campaigns, because it's like, am I going to get another one? Am I going to get to 40? I'm at 42, only $5 from 43, and it takes 3 days to get finally over that. And it's like, so yeah. And then all of a sudden you get 2 in a row, and I've been over this before. So.
It's funny because with Black Tiger, that campaign, we're bringing it to an end, and I just have that in demand. And I guess there's different philosophies on like how much overage you should print. I've got literally 8 books left. I'm not really advertising it anymore, but every now and again someone will pick one up. So I'm down to 8. So that at some point will close itself out. Those last 8 will move. I'm not focused on that campaign anymore. But it's just interesting, the dynamics. Sometimes like you just feel like there's these huge lulls, and I'm like, is anyone ever going to buy this book again? Yeah. And then a couple will move, and you'll be like, okay, cool. Gather a little momentum.
All righty. Let's move over to Anne Hathaway and what has been happening with her movie, HBO remake of The Witches. Anne Hathaway has issued an apology for her depiction of her character in the HBO remake of The Witches, following a wave of backlash from limb-different individuals who took offense to the character's three-fingered design. Limb-different. Okay, there's another one.
That was a new one for me.
Yeah, me too. A remake of the 1990 film by Nicholas Ray and Jim Henson, itself based upon Roald, is it Roald? I think it's Roald Dahl's 1983 book of the same name. The Witches follows a young boy and his grandmother as they attempt to stop a group of child-hating witches after accidentally discovering the witches' plan to transform the world's children into mice. In the remake, Hathaway's version of the Grand High Witch is depicted with hands bearing only 3 fingers apiece, similar to the real-world congenital disorder ectrodactyly, in an attempt to visually reinforce her monstrous nature. Okay, so these are her fingers, and so I looked up this I'm hoping it's dactyli. I looked it up, and this is what. Now, I don't. None of what I'm saying here is to make light of people in any way who are born with this condition. My heart goes out to you. But I'm not sure any of that really looks like this. It looks a little bit, but those fingers of Hathaway's look elongated to me for effect. And, I think there are a lot of groups out there who, the minute they get a chance to be offended, sometimes they do it, and they put this out there because it's a good way to get attention, whether it's the group or whether it's an actual individual. Retired Paralympian Amy Marin tweeted, Warner Brothers, was there much thought given to how this representation of limb differences would affect the limb difference community? I am fully aware that this is a film and there are witches, said Marin in a statement attached to the tweet, but witches are essentially monsters. My fear is that children will watch this film unaware that it massively exaggerates the Roald Dahl original and that limb differences begin to be feared. Is that really? I mean, look, I'm not Marin. I don't have. Yeah. I'm assuming Marin has this ectrodactyly, and I'm not her. Okay. I don't mean to downplay whatever she's gone or what she's gone through in her life. But I will say that it seems to me that that children are going to fear people with limb differences because of this movie. If they fear them, it's probably because they just haven't seen something like that before, which is a normal part of growing up, and even as an adult, and you learn to eventually just say, hey, these things happen, and you don't you don't sit there like a kid staring at them or being afraid of them. But at any rate, I think this is a bit of an overreaction, if not a little bit of an attempt to just get some fairly easy publicity. So yeah, I don't know. I just it seems to me we assume that people, most people with hands have 5 fingers, and getting away from that is a way of showing reflecting the fact that a particular character is evil or is a villain. It's not it's just kind of the natural, I don't want to say natural, but it's just a way that we differentiate the villains from the heroes sometimes. I don't think it's meant to offend anyone. No. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting. It's kind of funny that there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle off to the side. Because I was thinking about characters with like 3 fingers. I mean, you have the turtles have 3 fingers. One of my favorite characters, Nightcrawler. He's got kind of the 3 fingers, the character is definitely, these characters definitely stand out and they're distinct. Yeah.
And has anyone ever complained about those characters?
Well, I think this is.
I mean, maybe they have, but
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge, and that's the rub. It's like, I get it. I'm fortunate. I have all my fingers. As do my kids, and I can understand that there's probably a whole other set of challenges that come along with not having that.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a question of like, then does that mean that can't be represented at all anywhere? So Nightcrawler should be removed, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles should be removed, or is it saying that like only characters that are good should be represented that way? And that's where things get dangerous. That's when you say like, okay, well, you know, if you're not representing folks that look like me only as good and not bad, you know, and I may be taking it too far, you know, then you can't have that representation in media. And we just want to be careful. I definitely want to be sensitive. You know, I don't want to be insensitive to people, especially if they have disorders, but going to a place and saying you cannot make a character that is a bad character if they have if they look this way. You know, you can't have a black villain. You can't have a character that looks like this. Then we're just going in a really funky direction. Because at the end of the day, people are people. Yeah. You know, and there's good and bad in all people, and you're going to get representations. You know, and I don't think, you know, I get it. That's a totally different thing. We know with the fingers, but I think we just want to be creative, and we don't want to have our creativity stifled, and we don't want to find ourselves in a place where we're scared to do stuff because, like, you know, what may the backlash be, especially if it's not something that's done maliciously. I think, like you said, that was, you know, it's a tough one, man. And we live in a culture, the culture, and I'm not saying this to belittle anyone, but the culture is to be offended. Yeah, everybody has the right to offense. You know, so my
fear is we all eventually end up as the South Park Christmas special, where, you know, all you can do is this odd keyboard music and everyone doing these weird dances dressed in black because you know, you can't. It's the only way you won't offend anybody. You know, so yeah, we do live in that culture, and it's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of unfortunate. So, alrighty, let's talk a little bit here about Tilt Part 2, and alrighty, it's again superheroes meet the Sopranos, and the Sopranos get whacked. And I am now at $17.85, $15 away from 1,800 and 45% funded. I've got 11 days left to go in the first 30 days, 51 backers. I'm feeling pretty decent about this at this point. Hopefully get to 50% by the time the campaign is halfway over. That's where I definitely want to be, if not a little ahead of that. Yeah, if you back it, you're going to be you'll be on the email list, the first people who get to see the new art. And I'm going to be sending out an update later today with some finished art, and then you'll get to see it first. And it's going well, and I finally got the video done this last week. And
let's check it out.
Yeah, let's give it a quick play. Hold on, sorry, wasn't. Here we go. Alrighty.
It's that time again, my friends. Time to get tilted. The campaign for Tilt Part 2 is underway. Jennifer Poehler was in danger after mobsters murdered her dad. For her protection, spirits gave her the power to make the characters in an ordinary deck of playing cards come alive. Now she has to use that power to eliminate the mobsters who killed her dad. In issue 2, it is time for the mobsters to face the music. But what price will Jennifer pay? Will her recklessness catch up with her? Find out and back Tilt Part 2. Brought to you by the same team that brought you issue 1. Written by David Doc Hogg Hogberg. Illustrated by Marcos Lima. Colored by Lenore King. And lettered by D. Jason Meadows. Bringing you 32 pages of sexiness, surprises, and slaughter. Tilt Part 2, now on Indiegogo. It's superheroes meet the Sopranos, and this time, the Sopranos get whacked.
Good job, Doc.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. So I mean, there's still so many good perks open here. Original art by both by the guy who did my reissue cover, Alan Gray, and Vic King and Rosetta Allen, who Vic inked the art for the back of the deck of cards and the variant cover. Rosetta Allen colored them. Those are both available as a set, and you'll get all the perks with them. The 2 copies of the physical copies with the standard and variant cover. The what else? The digital copy, the 2 pinups here that are for sale, and the special tilt deck of cards. And then there are other ways to get drawn into issue 3 as well. And yeah, so do back those soon. And all righty.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
The link is in the description below. All righty. Let's see. We only got about 9
Yeah, I've been
minutes.
backed it, folks. Get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting mine.
So, all righty.
First one was fun.
Okay. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's give the what do these lyrics mean a try here. Now I grew up, when I was growing up, Duran Duran was a big band. And,
oh man.
But I have to say, John, I don't fully get what these lyrics are about. Maybe you can help explain it to me. Dark in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Steam in the subway. Do you think they're actually talking about a subway train there with actual steam in it? I don't know.
I have never seen a metaphor using a subway.
No,
entering a tunnel or anything like that. So I don't know. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Let's see what else here. Mouth is alive with juices like wine. What kind of juice tastes like wine? I can't figure that out. What do you think that means? When a man has juice in his mouth that tastes like wine, where do you think that's I mean, is it coming from actual juice? I don't know, John.
No, he may have been chewing on grapes. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
he may have been chewing on grapes.
Maybe he left the ocean spray in the refrigerator just a little too long.
Just saying.
And then there's this final one here that's got me confused. High blood drumming on your skin. It's so tight. You feel my heat. I'm just a moment behind. A moment behind of what?
It's like it's kind of like a race. I think it's like a race. He's just he's trying to catch up. That's all I could really glean from this.
Yeah, high blood drumming on your skin. I don't know what high blood is. I mean, it's yeah. I'm not sure. Not sure I get that.
I'm befuddled. I don't.
Yeah, I'm totally befuddled. So
strange race.
All righty. Well, I know you've got to go around 11, so why don't we one last quick thing here. Hugh Jackman may be coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as potentially returns as Wolverine, and so which is good because he's been very good as Wolverine, and he's had 1 or 2 movies that were kind of as Wolverine that were kind of stinkers, but most of them have been pretty good. And picture's worth 1,000 questions, and thanks to a new screenshot purported to be from a Marvel document, new rumors have begun to swell that Hugh Jackman will appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the role of Wolverine. According to the screenshot provided by Scooper Daniel RPK and supposedly taken from a Marvel production sheet published on September 10th, there's an offer out to Hugh Jackman. Do they show that here?
Yeah,
I don't. Okay. Well, let's what the heck? Let's just click on this archive link and see where it goes. Hopefully, it does not go to porn. What is this? Oh, no, it says offer out to Hugh Jackman, huh? What is this? What? You? So that would be some good news.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, if he was indeed back. So
that's interesting. Then I mean, it kind of begs the question. Then it's like do they try to loop in some of the stuff that was done previously into the current universe? How would that work?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's a good question.
You
Okay, we'll leave it there. John also just his graphic novel Black Tiger: Legacy of Furry is still in demand. How many of
Furry?
Yeah, Legacy of Fury. Did I say furry?
Furry.
God, I said furry.
Legacy of Furry.
Furry. Legacy of
Yes, sir.
a little Freudian slip there, I guess. Oh dear. All righty, Legacy of
man, you've
Fury
revealed everything to us now.
Yeah.
Now you guys know what the story's about.
And you've got about 8 of these left. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we have 8 soft copies left. So yeah, if you want to pick up one of the remaining 8, I would love that. And then once those 8 are gone, we're going to close this out.
Yeah. All righty. Sounds good. And of course, sign up for his comic Magna. And of course, back my comic Tilt Part 2.
That's right. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, I'm going to be back Monday with a brief C&V midday, and I think we're scheduled Wednesday for Indie Comic Stream. Is that correct?
That sounds right, sir.
Yeah, and we'll be looking at Replicator, Rob
Arnold.
Rob Arnold, that's right. We'll be taking a look at Replicator 1 and 2. So, okay, thanks everyone for showing up, and have a good rest of your Sunday.